Alright guys and girls, what we have here is Dr. Crank, or unofficially known as Hook. He was one of my favorites as the original Constructicons because he had his boom that would telescope out, and in this recreation from TFC, the boom extends out quite a bit. And there's a neat little play feature which I wish the original had. That feature is the ability to rig it to actually work like a crane. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I did it. Down in the spool area, there's basically a hole through the spool, and I just tied some regular black thread through it, and I started winding. How much? I don't know. I just kept on winding and winding. I didn't load it completely up, as you know, I was afraid it'd just end up being a knotted mess. It didn't have to reach the ground from the roof, so I just knew that I was going to need quite a few links. Now it's a little bit of a pain to thread it through these eyelets, but the seam at the top, the thread fits through the seam, so it goes through nice and easy through each one and up to the top. At the top, you move the pulley all the way to the right of the crane, and it goes all the way down to the second pulley, move to the right, and that guides it down to the hook. Once it wraps through the right pulley on the hook, it comes back up to the left pulley, threads through, comes down to the left pulley, then comes back up and ties off. Now once you do that, it should be all rigged, short of, you know, messing around. I mean, you can just loop it through there, but you got to make sure you get it on those pulleys and it'll work great. As you can see, I'm holding 5 Energon cubes from a gentleman who sent me a link to his site. Did them up in Illustrator, cleaned them up and printed them out. And of course I've got one of my reflector characters, my PE 10X I think it was, or 11X, I can't remember, but it holds a good bit of weight. I made the wood from, or the platform from wood, just drilled some holes, ran some wire or some thread, and I just hooked one loop over each side. It stays pretty well balanced. The knob back here allows me to raise and lower it. This piece here is critical for it though, because without its pressure applied to it, the weight will unlock the knob. Even though it pushes in to lock, the weight unlocks it. So if you push this up against the knob, it'll hold it and it won't drop, because once you start getting up here, it wants to drop it. It just wants to go. But the unit is stable and it holds its own. We're just going to move it over here, and when there's weight on this unit, it basically descends just fine. I mean, it's smooth, there's no complications. You know, I'm just letting my finger ease it down. I'm using my finger to not let it slam all the way down just as fast as it can. I just let up some pressure and it rolls down just fine. Knob just fell off, but the rigging stays true. Ignore the aircraft in the background. Oop. It hangs up every now and again in the seams of the boom, but really not a big deal. I mean, you just pull it forward and it releases itself and it keeps going. I think I'm at the extent, yeah. So I'm all the way down, hands off, and it's still holding under its own weight. So I don't know how much weight it can hold. I'm really not probably going to do any more than what I've got going on here, but it's just really cool feature. And I don't think it'll hold its own weight if you put down the post to stabilize it, you know, and lift it up off its wheels. I think that takes away from its ability. But for the most part, that's it. It's relatively simple to do. Just takes a little time, and you'll get it. So anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope this adds a new level of play to your Dr. Crank, aka Hook, and I hope you enjoy. Take care.